So I've been talking about this car for the last couple of weeks now, and it's time to finally clean her up and introduce her to the channel. But first, we gotta start with cleaning this guy up. This part's pretty boring, so we'll just do a little YouTube magic. All right, that's better. I'm gonna move it to the other side real quick. Damn, this car looks so good at every angle. So what we have here is a 2023 Aston Martin Vantage base. It's their base model. They have a V12, a couple Volante they call them, just basically a convertible version. This one's painted in lightning silver with onyx black interior. Aston, kind of like Porsche, you can get all sorts of different variations or customizations on the seat. There's two different seat options, and then each one of those has individual, I guess, leather colors, and you can also do the deviated stitching in them as well. So lightning silver on onyx black interior. Powertrain, it's got a Mercedes-Benz sourced 4-liter twin-turbo V8 pushing just over 500 horsepower, and it also has a 8-speed automatic transmission. For wheels, I think Aston Martin offers a couple different choices, but these are the 20-inch alloy wheels. They look pretty nice. They weren't terribly great to clean because you had these grooves that are way in there, and got to be a little tight. Speaking of tight, those brakes are huge. I'm not sure the size. They're slotted, huge Aston Martin brakes in the front. Nice looking slotted ones in the rear as well. And although Aston has changed a lot of their styling, I mean, here, look at the Vanquish over there. It looks, I mean, that's pretty timeless, and I think this will be timeless too. But they did finally, you know, put these full LED headlights in. However, the inside, it stays pretty old school, kind of. This infotainment system, for example, I can turn it on here in a second, but it's, I think it's also Mercedes-Benz sourced, but it's like Mercedes-Benz from, I don't know, early 2000s. That's my only real complaint about this car so far, is that the tech isn't very modern. I mean, you look at something like, what's here, even like the R8 that's 3 years older, or I mean, yeah, I guess the BMWs that are from 2023. Well, the C8's a good one to compare it to, I guess. You know, that all has nice new technology, but this has a very similar infotainment system to that 2012 SLS up there. It's nicer, don't get me wrong, but it's not, I don't think it's something that should be in a Aston Martin like this. But for options on the inside, there are a few that we could select, including the Bang & Olufsen Premium Audio. I think it's only like 9 speakers or something like that, 9 or 11 or 13. I think it's pretty sure it's 9. This has that premium updated or upgraded audio. Sounds really nice. And as mentioned before, these have the upgraded, I think they're just called Sport Plus seats. They hold you a little bit more, a little bit bigger bolstering. Kind of weird design. I'm not really sure what Aston's thinking with this, perforation here. I mean, it's not bad, but it's just kind of weird. I think they could have done something a little bit different. Not too crazy about that. But on the inside for options, it's basically, this one's pretty stripped. So just the onyx black interior, upgraded audio, and I'm sure these are probably an option. Red seatbelts. Yeah, I'm pretty positive these are standard in black. So they brought some of the red, because this is an option, the red calipers. They brought some of that onto the inside, although it's kind of a different color red. Still looks nice, but no other red in the inside. The doors are pretty sweet. Yeah, this little, Aston Martin had this before Tesla, but this little handle that comes out, you push it in, it comes out. But then the doors actually come slightly up in an angle. I don't know if you can see that. See, it has that angle there. Classic Aston Martin trait. I kind of wish these window surrounds were either black or, I guess that's about it, black. I'm not crazy about gloss black, so there is a little bit here and there that I'm not wild about because it can get scuffed up. I'm pretty sure that's a standard option right there. Coming to the back, these taillights are smoked. Otherwise, this little light bar here would be red. And this is one of my favorite angles of the Aston. Look at that. I love the way that looks. The taillight comes all the way around when you apply the brakes. This looks really mean. This diffuser down here, that's an option. A little painted diffuser, otherwise I think it's black from the factory. I don't really care about these bumperettes here. I think it's a US DOT requirement, but I wonder if they're just stuck on there, or if they're bolted on or what, but I wish we didn't have to have those on. They look much better without them. See, they kind of stick out quite a ways here. Another option on the back, this is typically hand painted, this little Aston Martin logo, but there's a option you can select that makes them black. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't believe this is an option, or I don't believe this is standard. I think that is an option to have that be a contrasting color. Otherwise, it might be either color match to the body or maybe like a plastic. I don't really know. Don't quote me, but I think that is an option now that I'm thinking about it. And here's one of those. Here's the second badge that comes with that black out. Otherwise, it looks just like this. Got that hand-painted traditional Aston Martin badge. I think the black looks really sharp. And that's about it that I can think of. Haven't driven it besides from the delivery truck to here and then over to the wash bay and then back over here. It is very similar to like a Mercedes GT, because it is the GT, or the, I think even the C63, E63, they all have that same 4-liter twin turbo V8. So it's going to feel very familiar to me, but just the overall appearance of it I think is much more attractive over like a Mercedes. Mercedes is more of a, I don't know, an older, I guess it depends on what model you get, but they're getting too rounded. Like, see how this is nice and edgy? SLS is nice and edgy. The new Mercedes to me is like really soft edges versus something like this where it's nice and sharp. Like that bulge on the hood looks really nice to me. The giant grille looks awesome to me. It makes the Vanquish grille look actually small, which I always thought was big. But looking at that now, I mean, compared to that, it's big, yeah, but it's actually quite small. Show you guys on the inside here real quick. It's just that black onyx interior with the contrast stitching. Let me grab the key, actually. I'll show you the infotainment system. The keys are pretty cool. They come with them. The Vanquish is like crystals on the side here, but this is more of a chrome. But it's a heavy key, I like heavy keys. Turn this on. Let's see how crappy this is. I mean, I don't want to complain. I'm not trying to complain about this. This is the first thing I noticed. But, I mean, look at this. See? If you're familiar with the Mercedes, like, this is just pure Mercedes. I don't know. It's not good. Aston Martin needs to do something better about that, because their interiors are gorgeous. This is nice stitched leather. You know, even the infotainment or the instrument cluster up front looks really nice. Steering wheel is kind of a square shaped, and that looks and feels really nice. I like these big bolsters. The dash looks really clean. I wish the headliner was suede. This cloth isn't bad. It should be suede for what this price is. The handles on the doors are kind of strange, but I like them. Something different. The center column area here is pretty nice compared to the Vanquish. You have touch buttons for the heated seat. Your little audible indicator on that. There's a lot going on here though, don't get me wrong. Like, here, I'll start it up real quick. Did you notice that? As soon as you apply the brake, that's when you can start it. And it's a slight delay I noticed, so if I press it, it's maybe a second or two delay. Not bad. But there is a lot going on here. There's a million freaking buttons. Like, what is this? That's the interior illumination button. Why is it down here and not up here? And maybe they want to keep that clean. This is usually, that does nothing, so I guess it's all right there. But there's, I mean, even the lock and unlock is right here. There's the passenger side illumination. This is the area for the flow for the air. I have it on sync. There's AC. Gives you a little button that shows that. Rear and front defrost. Lock and unlock. Yeah, I think that this is really nice and clean, but they could have made this, I don't know. I don't want to say better, but because it's not bad. Reverse camera, actually a 360 camera, which is super nice. And that looks much nicer, as it should, than like the Challengers and stuff that I've had. You got a little favorites button here, straight out of Mercedes-Benz. I remember that star being there. And then this is just your, you know, you can adjust the screen with this dial. I can change the station there, because I don't believe, no, it's not a touch screen. Not a whole lot of space back here, but more than you would probably think. I could probably take this off, and that'll give me a little bit more, actually quite a bit more visual out of the back. I did notice when I first got, oh here, I'll show you this. This little stop gate thing, if you want to put your bag or something, you don't want to slide all the way back to here. And a little wall you can put up. But when I was drying this, I saw a loose bolt right here. What is this damn thing? This bolt that's holding on the entire tailgate. I mean, you have one right there and one right there, but this one wasn't in there. It was all loose. It was just chilling right here. Thought that was kind of odd for a high-end brand like Aston Martin. You think that would not have happened. The only other thing I found on here, I mean, I'm having shit luck when it comes to these brand new cars being slightly flawed. But there's this little tiny mark that's gonna bug me if I don't get it fixed, right there. There. See that? Looks worse on camera than it does in person. Just the smallest little chip. So to fix that, I'll probably have to paint the whole damn door, because you're not going to be able to just touch that up, which I'm not looking forward to, but whatever. I want to keep this car for a long time, then I want to wrap it, and I want that to not be underneath the wrap. But that is the only thing I saw on here. Plus, there's a small little bit of what it looked like. Did that come off with the wash? Oh no, right here. Tiniest amount of what looks like overspray or something. See that in the light? I can probably try to buff that out, but we'll see. So let me know what you guys think. 2023 Aston Martin Vantage. Kind of an underrated, although expensive, but kind of a forgotten brand. You know, you think of this type of value, I mean, this is a lot less, but I could have gotten like a 911 GTS, for example, or maybe a cheap used R8, but I wanted something new because I don't like to buy, you don't know what people do to their cars before you buy them, so I wanted to buy a new car, and this would fit the stable nicely. But Aston Martin's kind of a brand that I don't think about very often, probably because we just got an Aston Martin dealer in Minnesota here not too long ago, maybe about 10 years ago or something like that. But you know, it's not a common brand that you see very often, and also it's not too flashy. Like, yeah, like the 01 is a Corvette, like there's 100 of them in 10 square miles, but it doesn't. It looks a lot more flashy because of the color. Aston Martin, this looks kind of like a Ford, or what is that? Focus? Oh, one of the Fords ended up doing a very similar front end to Aston Martin a couple years back, so this could pass as like a Ford. Not that I buy cars to hide them or anything, but I also don't buy them to show them off or be flashy. I want to be able to park this thing at like a grocery store, for example, not be worried about coming out and have there being people taking pictures or people surrounding it and stuff like that. I'm not very flashy. That's why all my cars, you know, the iX back here, the GT500, this, the Z06 right there, the ZL1 coming in, the Challenger coming in. They're not bright, you know, bright green, bright blue cars. Nothing wrong with that, but for me personally, I just don't like the attention. I love cars. I only drive to work and back, really. So I don't beat on them. I don't track them. And in that time that I'm driving around, I don't want them to be too attention seeking, if that makes sense. So anyway, what I'm getting at is this thing kind of blends in. Like this could be just like a Kia Stinger, whatever that car is called. For them, someone doesn't know what they're looking at, I guess. Kind of a random side note, but I know you guys think of this. Lightning silver is the color. It's got a lot of different flake in it. You can see here, it's silver, it's white, it's gray, it's almost pink in some angles. Depends on the light and such, but I don't know. I think it looks really great. Again, the ass end on it is just incredible to me. I love how wide these shoulders or these hips are, I should say. It's just a really good looking car. I'll get some more time with it too. Like I'm getting more time with the iX. I'm driving the M8 right now. It's at my house. The GT500 should be done by Tuesday. Get a little paint repair done. And I still want to get some mileage on the Z06, but we're going to be driving all these cars this year. I got fresh gas in the ZR1 for the first time in like 2.5 years, and I want to get a fresh tank in all these cars. So I plan on driving them all significantly this summer, if summer ever decides to come. Oh yeah, I was just getting ready to move this thing. One thing I forgot to mention, if you don't know, we keep all of our vehicles that we have here on trickle charge. Oh, this one's got a fault. Good to know. I got to bring that down and check out what's up with that. But all these cars here, when they're just sitting here, they get put on C-Tech battery tender. It just floats the battery and makes sure that it doesn't go bad on you. Not sure why this one is going bad. We'll have to just push the reset button. I think this happens once in a while when you have a fault or a power failure, I mean. But anyway, all these other cars are on. You can see the C8 right here. They all get put on trickle chargers. Alright, you can see the ZR1's in the back. What's cool about Aston Martin is that you buy this battery tender here and it comes with this attachment, which is a magnetic deal that connects underneath the, I should say on top of the license plate frame. And see that little deal right there? That's what this connects to. This ends up just connecting just like that. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. So this little adapter, instead of having to get alligator clamps or a cigarette lighter and plug it into an outlet, just have this little magnetic adapter that hooks right there and you're good to go. I like that it's angled 90 degrees compared to the Vanquish. Vanquish comes out like this. It sticks out. This you can kind of tuck up in there. That's really cool. Nice. Excuse the background noise. We got Long Dong washing his car. I'm going to end this video here. As always, I appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Thanks. Thank you.